falling along with them.
Well, I think the only thing that could kick it back up again would be if this next story doesn't have the ending that Michigan thinks it will, and that according to Sports Illustrated's Richard Johnson, the long-awaited contract extension for Jim Harbaugh has kind of come to light here. $11 million a year over 5 years, but it's on the condition that he will not pursue an NFL job in this hiring cycle, which he has the last couple of years with the Vikings and the Broncos and I think someone else. But there are going to be teams that have interest in Jim Harbaugh, and it will be interesting to see how this goes and if he actually does sign it and doesn't do it, or what if he agrees to the contract but doesn't sign it and then the Panthers call or the Bears call or the Raiders call and say, would you like to be the head coach? That will be interesting. And they're also doing this knowing that he is going to be suspended again, probably next year. So, and maybe 2 times, maybe it's one big, I don't know, but everything that's going on, Michigan, because they're in the CFP, they're undefeated, they're 3-time defending Big Ten champs. None of that matters, or all that. None of the other stuff matters because of that. So Jim Harbaugh has an opportunity to remain there for the next 5 years. Part of me thinks that that he's going to go to the NFL, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't pretend to know his motivations or where his head's at. For the longest time, people have been trying to push Saban into retirement, right?
Yeah.
Let's go pull out the articles from the last decade. He's got to be close to retire now, or he's heading towards retirement. So, never say never in the college football ranks, just period. But yeah, I don't pretend to know what Jim Harbaugh wants to do. He's an interesting guy who I don't know that too many people really know what's ticking in his head half the time. But I think that Michigan's doing its best to try and cement his era and make sure that it's long lasting and that there's not teams that every single year get to jump in this time of year and say, well, he's leaving, right, and play the whole game that people play with Saban, right? But now they basically do that with Harbaugh. Like, well, he's going to go to the NFL soon, right? Or he's going to go to the NFL, or he's going to be suspended, right? Or he's going to this or that. I can only imagine what some of the recruiting talk is surrounding Jim Harbaugh. And this would be a way to silence all of that for the most part, is to go and sign a contract that not only locks you down, which we know doesn't really mean a whole lot outside of the buyout money, which can mean something, as we saw, with various jobs over the years and with A&M most recently. That's not nothing, the buyout figures at some places. But, having that in there of where you're not going to go and flirt with the NFL seems like a weird clause. Like, it doesn't even seem like it'd be legal, really. Like, you can't go get a job the way it sounds. But that would be a way to kind of tamper out or stamp out some of the rampant speculation that occurs every single year with him inevitably wanting to return to the NFL. And, especially now with he has this NCAA issue. And do you want to continue fighting with that and whatever that's going to look like on the other end? So, yeah, I'm very curious to see if he goes through and signs this thing, because if he does, and I think that gives Michigan a lot of muscle and a lot of weight to throw around, quieting the fears about him leaving. And if not, well then, boy, oh boy, go grab the gas cans and throw those on the fire too, and let's really get crazy with talking about Jim Harbaugh and whatever his next steps will be, because that would be a surefire sign that he's not long necessarily for Ann Arbor if the right offer comes along. So yeah, that's a very telling option there for him of sign this and basically lock yourself down, or let it be known of like, I'm just waiting on the right gig to come and holler at me. And so, yeah, his part of the coaching carousel could definitely shake things up and make it a bit more dramatic like it has been in years past.
Yeah. If somebody like tries to hire Lincoln Riley out of the blue, that could shake it up. But I don't think that's happening this year. I do think it is eventually going to happen.
Yeah, this just isn't though Lincoln Riley going from Oklahoma to USC or a lot of like the in college sort of moves that we've seen over the last couple of years. This was much more of like job open, job got filled, job open, job got filled, and not a whole lot of drama for the most part. But yeah, that would obviously be a different animal if the Bears come calling for Harbaugh. If any other number of the Chargers or something were like, "Hey, Lincoln, want to just stay in town and come coach Justin Herbert, would that be enticing to you?
And look, no one in LA cares about the Chargers, so you can kind of work in relative anonymity, which you like.
Yeah, you'd have less media pressure, that's for sure. I mean, although I don't know what it's like at USC, it seems like it's been pretty ratcheted up, just at least nationally. He's gotten a lot of coverage, but it would not be, I wouldn't think, to the extent of what he's dealt with at USC. It'd be a little slighter in the NFL ranks.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen this time around, but you never know. There's
a lot of NFL jobs that are going to be opened up. I mean, we'll see when the time comes.
Yeah. I mean, the Panthers are already open. That you would think that the Bears are going to be open. You think and the Raiders are already open. So
Chargers probably
going to be open. So
Redskins or
Commanders
Washington
for sure.
Yeah, Washington's going to be open.
That's 5 jobs right there.
Yeah. So,
but we'll see. There's a lot of assistant coaches and former head coaches that usually get those calls first. But I would have to think that Jim Harbaugh would be pretty high up the list, and Lincoln Riley not too far down for some teams out there.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come back.